ESL Pro League is brought to you in part by Logitech G, Pay Safeguard, Mountain Dew League, and ESEA.
A very good evening to you and welcome to the Pro League. Yes, indeed, we're back for our second day of our 5th season here for the ESL Pro League. A 5th season already and $1 million on the line for the 14 best teams in Europe and North America, doing battle, of course, both online and offline, trying to get themselves a ticket to Dallas. I'm Alex Machine Richardson and I'm joined by a bunch of both merry men and women. Are we merry, Chad Birchill?
Definitely.
You feeling merry, yeah?
Yeah, lots of Counter-Strike.
I mean, I always feel like merry is attached to Christmas time. Are you feeling festive, Lauren? Did you enjoy Christmas?
Had a great time.
You
did?
Did?
It was lovely.
That was a long time ago now.
Yeah, it was.
It wasn't
real
that long
throwback.
ago.
Real
Was it that
throwback.
long ago?
It feels like it.
I can almost still taste the turkey sandwiches. Those are the
Day
best
after
bit.
sandwiches?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Much better than actual Christmas dinner, actually.
Oh, I don't know.
Okay, well, discussion for another time.
Yeah.
Of course, we're here to talk about Counter-Strike, competitive video game provided by Valve, in case you were unfamiliar. Now, what we are going to be doing first of all is addressing the standings after our first day. That's right, yes, indeed. The league started yesterday, and already we got some surprise results, some tosses and turns that we weren't quite anticipating on the desk or even over in the caster area as well. We did our fantasy and got completely destroyed by these unpredictable results. We start with North America, where you see Cloud9, defending champions of the Pro League, lifting the trophy over in Sao Paulo, Brazil, for the 4th season, their first Pro League title. And underneath them, SK Gaming doing the same. So 3 teams rocking that 2-0 to start us off, Lauren.
Yeah, SK obviously playing out against Immortals, massive game for them to kick off with. First time we were seeing Phelps, did okay, at least with the SK roster. On the other side, FNX had a great game as well for the other side, but obviously not enough to convert to a win.
Good feeling for FNX, at least putting in a personal performance versus his old teammates.
I think for him, you know, he can be a star in this team, which is will be good for Immortals.
Absolutely, and Optic Gaming picking up their first 2 wins as well. I mean, that's just going to be a good vibe for Optic, given that they have already been really rising to the challenge of being the best North American team, trying to take that title.
And the addition of Hiko, you know, just losing stands.
Fresh off the press, yeah.
And NaVi doing the in-game leading now, so that's an interesting point to make. And I think they have Peacemaker sitting in as the coach. Yeah,
and a couple of split series, just while we have it up on screen, 2 more to address. Complexity getting a win under their belt, and NRG as well doing the same. So a split series there. It's kind of the same story we saw in the European region as well, Chad, right? We got those split series. Words are hard, and games were hard for Mousesports and NaVi as they did split.
Yeah, like with the NaVi game, we were expecting a lot on Nuke and we didn't see it. In the previous match they played on Nuke versus Heroic, I saw a lot of stuff I liked. It didn't translate against Astralis. But Astralis, on the other hand, going 2-2, that's a very disappointing night for them, and I think they're feeling that themselves. Yeah, they did voice their frustrations for sure, Lauren.
Yeah, I think we just learned Astralis are pretty strong on Nuke so far. Their T side is beastly. That's the 2 that they picked up. Obviously, the Mirage game was a little bit interesting. Mousesports, though, what a story for those guys, already kicking things off well, considering the changes. Early season, of course, could be the honeymoon. Oscar, though, played well.
He did indeed. Now, someone that didn't play well, or rather the teams that didn't play well, look at those 0-2s. Now, the names may be rather eyebrow-raising to you. Ninjas in Pajamas, the Swedish stars who actually missed out on a chance to perform at the Major, having plenty of time to practice, plenty of time to have that mouse and keyboard in their hands, sitting in their homes, and unable to translate it into victory to start off their season as 0-2, and for FaZe as well. Lauren.
I just have to quickly say credit to Kingwin. What a turn up for the Vicks for them.
Right.
No, you know, you come into a new season, they're not exactly the first name that you'd look at going, all right, there's the roster that's going to kick off things really well for themselves. And they turned the hell up, especially against someone like FaZe.
So much has happened in this last week roster-wise. Like Heroic were using Lome, their coach, as a stand-in.
Yeah, and won.
Yeah, FaZe, they just lost AZ to North, and they had to use Jacob last night. So much is happening. You know, there's a lot of, not instability, but it's interesting.
So much is happening. Actually, so much was happening yesterday as well in that NaVi game. Despite not necessarily being a fantastic performance from NaVi individually, Simple put up a showing. Henry saying he was playing lights out and he was not wrong. Look at this. This was just 1 AK saved in the round, some scavenging by his teammates, and Flamey
had to steal
stole that ace.
Yeah, you don't want that, you know. You don't want to ruin that for your teammate. Saving the AK, getting the round done on his own.
It was glorious. And there's not that many players, Chad, you can attest to this. There's not many players that you can give an AK and actually have a degree of faith that you could actually pick up a round. I feel like Simple is one of those in that category.
Yeah, and a good thing to note, like, obviously Simple, amazing player, but his team actually allowed him to use it before there was when it died. A lot of times when teams save rifles, your teammates just go off and die with their pistols. You're left still holding this rifle thinking, thanks, guys.
Save number 2.
Yeah, I have to save it again.
I've been in this situation before.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And if you joined us yesterday, you have been in this very situation before. It's time to bring up what is coming up today. We can go ahead and show you what you have to look forward to on our schedule. Or is it schedule? Lauren, you're the English master here. I always pronounce it schedule, but I hear people say schedule and I get really upset.
I say assume, so let's not do this. Yeah, I'm one of those people.
Well, irregardless of that. Memes. NaVi VP to start off our day here on the mainstream. That is going to be a meal. In fact, it's our hot match of the week, Chad. It's going to be spicy. I'll let you briefly explain why before I touch on the others. VP going up against NaVi. Hype.
Well, it's one of those exciting matches. There's always an exciting game between these two teams. The thing that I like to see, you know, is the extreme depth from VP. You know, they have so many different layers and levels to them. And NaVi is a team who I think can get to that level. They're not there just yet, but with this addition of Simple, they're adding, you know, layers all the time. And that's why, for me, this is the most exciting game.
It's going to be awesome. And you know what? It doesn't really detract too much to the next one. Just as we're catching our breath from Cobblestone with VP NaVi, we get to jump into North versus Fnatic. And I mean, the fact that we get to show 2 fresh squads live on air today. So if you're in the stream, you're strapping in for the whole evening. You're not going anywhere. Don't think you can only stick around for 2 because we get to see new Fnatic. We get to see North. I presume we get to see North now with AZ. I mean, the announcement was made like an hour ago.
Yeah.
As if Twitter's right, which it usually is, AZ's been practicing with them since the start of the week anyway.
My God.
So, yeah.
It is sometimes hard to keep up to date with all the news, the rosters, and everything else that comes alongside the matches of Counter-Strike. Fortunately, we provide for you here at the ESL Pro League, and Mitch took some time to go ahead and explain exactly what's been going down between yesterday and today. Take a look.
Yes, thank you very much, Alex. Before we jump into the games today, however, I thought we'd do a little bit of a social media roundup and some of the chatter that was happening on Twitter and the like during last night's matches. First one actually came in after NIP's match up against Heroic. It was Get Right expressing a little bit of disappointment there. He actually figured they'd come back and bounce back with that second map performance, but it was not to be. And then NIP did extend the hand of congratulations to the victorious Danes and noted that Mouse Sports match today will be an opportunity for NIP to bounce back. Here's Zonic as well, showing us a little bit of what Astralis have been up to, what's going on in the think tank. They're working on their cash plays. I'm sure that A-site going to get a little bit more attention going forward. And lastly, Flamey, noting that despite only getting 1 map against Astralis, NaVi failed to get any pistol rounds whatsoever, and I'm sure that's going to be a focus point for them going forward. Also, ladies and gentlemen, this year we are bringing back our community plays. So if you want to be featured in that segment on our show, send us your best CSGO plays at esl.gg/PL plays, and we'll do our best to feature them on the show with other community-submitted replays. And now, with that out the way, our first match of today will be Virtus.pro versus NaVi. It's been a matchup that's given us some incredible results in the past and one of the best plays of ESL 1 New York coming from Snacks. But before we start, let's take a look back at ESL 1 New York and have a look at a compilation of the best plays from that event.
Now they go, now they approach, crossfire set, now face them out, Rush goes in, he'll drop them from forklift, there's 2 players here in the reload, it's gonna catch them out, Stanislaw is well and truly in position, somehow T2's pulled this back as they pick up the AK and shot.
Now, you are gonna see a bit more of a push of her, he's just biding his time, waiting for the right angle, finally spots out the head, takes 2 as well, KB and Zipex gonna be dropping here on the T side, and Dupree gonna be the first to push in, gets to put it out, headshot comes out, Carrigan, he needs to be able to refrag this, he can't afford to back off, because in a 4v2, it's gonna make it so much harder with the flank coming out, at least a double peek, and oh my god, it's gonna be the ace. 5 headshots there.
They may catch Bialy off, does with an eagle shot, lovely so. The bomb planted. No kit, does have armor, if he can just grab an AK. Okay, all right, Simple's gonna go. That's enough, he's got 2 1-taps, he's feeling it. Deagle shot's in, he's picked up an AK as well, and he's electing to stay with the pistol. Simple, he's up to the 3rd, and the AK pulled out. Oh my god, Simple.
They coming out, but oh, there we go. This tag's come down. FNX going to be able to hit a few shots with no kill coming out. Carrigan drops him and Fallen, returns back on, takes a 2nd as well, and the 3rd. That's going to be the quick scope there. Oh, the 4th, Fallen, what are you doing?
It's going to be Bialy down in the end. Just Snacks. Does find 1.
Oh, no.
Let's not leave him out of this. The Big Apple, and Snacks is hungry. He's got 1 kill already on the USP. Low HP as well on Guardian and Flamey. He's trying to bait them out, trying to get them into one-on-ones as he dances back and forth between the bars. What a shot on Simple! Oh, Guardian, bye-bye! And it's on to Flamey. He's tapped it. Flamey's got a big... What in God's name is that from...
True true juggernauts of CS, but recently featuring some very up and down online results. Virtus Pro have been a staple of Counter-Strike for many years now. They are up against NaVi, coming right up.
That from Snacks!
You love that one, don't you?
I do.
Every time.
I love
Every time.
Seriously, that round always gives me goosebumps. Fantastic stuff from both Matt and Snacks. Great plays from him, and he's actually going to be seeing him today playing up against NaVi. This is going to be the big one to start us off. And Snacks necessarily is almost always seen as someone to keep your eyes on when VP are in that server. I mean, has he always been the person to watch? What do you think?
I think he's a headliner now. You know, that's the thing to me. You saw him at the major and he just went off. He was such a bolstering factor for Virtus Pro. It was just beautiful to watch this guy play. And I don't think he's ever dipped out performance, but he was never one of those people in the forefront of the spotlight either. I don't think he's ever been one of those guys who gets known necessarily to the likes of, I guess, other flashy players. You know, you see a lot of people looking at the likes of Simple, Olaf, but a lot of the players out there are now recognizing that Snacks, you've got to put him up there.
I think for Snacks and a Flusher is another example. They're very cerebral players. They play the clutch situation so amazingly well. The way that they do things, it's not always the super flashy like one digs and stuff. They are able to pull that off, and like Snacks is a good example of that. But the way that they go about rounds, it's unusual because the way that they do it is outside the box, and always good to see the way they play clutch situations.
I mean, it's so silly because sometimes people don't just think that we're spitting, like we're just talking kind of. I was about to say we're chatting breeze. I don't know why I'm suddenly becoming a gangster, but we kind of, you know, we're kind of just saying words with no backing. When people talk about players that can have influence on the round, you know, when like we talk about Zipnix or Zipex, whichever one you fancy, and his influence in those clutch situations, sometimes people read that as just. Well, I mean, they're just saying that's not quantifiable. Where's your evidence? Whereas, you know, Snacks is in that category as well as someone that isn't necessarily always dropping the highest frags, but he has an impact on the round that's hard to measure. Wouldn't you say, Chad?
He's the star player in VP for sure. And I think, you know, the way that he impacts the game, it's usually always at a crucial time that he's able to pull off an amazing clutch and amazing round like that. Everybody else in VP just seems to chip along and adds in when they need to. And, you know, they can have star performances. All of those players have been a star. All of them have been in-game leaders. Most of them can all. They're a very diverse team.
Versatile Virtus Pro. Yes, indeed. Then wow. That's right. That's actually the phonetical way to pronounce NaVi. NaVi. Going up against Virtus Pro. Now, I mean, look at that roster on either side is just basically 10 Counter-Strike celebs. They're about to duke it out in what's going to be an incredibly important match as well here in the Pro League. Now, we sometimes feel like we have to highlight exactly why this is oh so important. Let's not forget that we haven't necessarily seen these guys flourish as of late. VP found some success in Atlanta. NaVi, relatively disappointed by their performance. And now coming into the online league, we know how unbelievably tight-knit this is. The 14 teams, you can see almost like 12, 13 that you could see making to the finals, right, Chad?
Yeah, there's no messing around because the teams that they consider weaker opponents are the ones who aren't at these events that these guys are constantly flying to. They're staying at home, they're watching all the demos and they're prepping for them, and they're able to take the cheeky, you know, draw series, get a win off them. And this is what really hurts NaVi and VP. Astralis last season as well suffered that. They're teams who we consider to be like within the top 5 in the world. And in this situation, when they're not on their A game, when they're not focusing on things, they can get these wins taken away from them. So when they're going up against other big boys like NaVi versus VP, for example, you have to at least get a 1-1 in this series. You need to be awake for it. It's very important.
And conceding a loss is, even here in this environment, can be very demoralizing. We actually saw over on social media Taz's reaction after that grand final loss. Now, I want to know what you make of this, Lauren. Was Kievi being cheeky with this statement? It just feels like he was happy with the win.
I think it was fine, but I just like Taz's attitude towards it. You know what I mean? Like, you've got to be confident in yourself and your team, and you want to get a good game out of it, and you don't want to be thinking to yourself, well, if they didn't even play well and they still beat us, how does that make us feel? You know, you got to have something back.
It doesn't feel like a jab at VP though, to me. We can see what Lurpus has been saying as well. He says, I don't think it's an exaggeration to say Neo must be one of the most respected players of all time in Counter-Strike. Any argument there, Chad? I don't think so.
Definitely not. You know, he's up there. He's a legend. If there was a Hall of Fame, he'd be in it. I think there is a Hall of Fame.
There is a Hall of Fame. It's just been established, and we've got one player in it. Heaton, I believe.
Well, Neo will definitely be in
Neo
there.
is
He's on his
surely
way.
Going to be in towards that one.
And people that are unaware, people perhaps that have joined CS recently, I mean, you can quickly touch on it. I mean, he's been around however long now with Taz. These two have been, I think it's 10 years they've been playing together in a team.
Just run it forever. Yeah, it's been a very long time. Neo was the greatest player in 1.6. It's arguable between like him and Forrest, but he's
He's
one
up
of the
there.
best, yeah.
Now we talk about Snacks again. This time it's JW, now of course rejoining the Fnatic boys. He says, quoting Sean Gares, of course ex-in-game leader for Cloud9, has been bouncing around North America for a while. Sort of, you don't win Snacks. You don't win, Snacks lets you win.
Yeah.
Punctuation is hard, but yes, that's the gist of it. We were just praising Snacks for that very reason, right? You said he's the star of VP, and it looks like JW seems to agree with you, as does Sean Gares. Scary player to go up against, there's no doubt about it.
High praise.
And from JW, I mean, you know, it's great to hear our opinions, but when you have a player who's played against him in that server, who's felt the impact of Snacks much more than we ever can from these seats, it's a real high praise for Snacks, and I look forward to hopefully seeing some Snacks magic in
Very
this
nice
game.
reminder. They should be able to do something.
This
Oh
is a
my
little
God,
taste
hello,
of,
me.
ooh, we got some double Lauren.
That was not what I wanted to hear.
But you get to see just a little bit of what he is capable of as we do continue to prepare ourselves for this match.
We did beat them in was it Melbourne? Yeah, Melbourne on Inferno. I think we beat them 16-4, the old Renegades boys. We did lose the series after all, but we won a map 16-4 versus VP.
Nice.
Not detracting from obviously how amazing this guy is, but just the way that he approaches situations, and he always finds himself, you know, in a place that most players would struggle. He's not just going to get that one frag, he gets the second one, he stays alive, he delays for his team. Always doing the right play, you know?
And he does seem to get in other people's heads as well. I mean, when you've got players like JW saying, you know, Snacks lets you win, immediately when you're in a 1v1 versus Snacks, you're sitting there going, oh, here we go. Okay. Well, we'll find out how NaVi do fare, and of course that is who is about to jump into the server versus the hyped Virtus Pro. Grand finalists not quite managing to lift the trophy, but either way, NaVi are going to be going up against them. Now, we saw them play yesterday, and I don't know, a bit mixed results for them. Opinion seeing NaVi yesterday, Lauren, and coming up against VP?
Hit and miss.
Okay.
It looked dominant at times, and it looked like a switch was hit, and it just kind of fell apart. Nuke was obviously a bit of a tragic outcome for them, but you know, you saw Simple playing well. I just want to see what sort of consistency they bring. To me, I enjoy watching Simple playing well purely just because it looks great, right? But I want to see how much consistency they have as a collective. If it's just going to be Simple kicking off, Guardian started to look a little bit better. We saw once he got that AWP going on Overpass, he had a big influence in it. I want to see a good season from him. It feels like a while since I've seen him being another big discussion topic. It's always been other AWPers now outshining him.
Yeah, I mean it's worth talking about that, Nuke. You said you touched on it already, but a lot of criticism held towards that opening half from NaVi. Guardian unable to make impact on the team.
It's new to their wheelhouse, you know. It's not a map that they've played a lot. Last season in Pro League, they banned it all the time. So only now that they're adopting it, and I think it was a pocket pick for them going to the major, they never really got to use it. It's good that they're expanding their map pool because it was quite weak towards the end of last year.
Sure.
Going into today's matchup between VP, Cobble and Train are both, you know, historically decent maps for them. They're ones that you'd consider strong. So it's good to be able to get VP. They're also very strong on Train and Cobble, so it's good that those two teams can be playing each other on strong maps.
We get the best show.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just the best stage for this battle to go down.
And I just want to see if Cobble is going to be another consistent factor. We saw it at the major through the group stage. That was the bolstering thing for NaVi that made them look outstanding. Flamey and Simple went the hell off. You know, Simple was literally just this turret, like mobile turret throughout the map. So if this becomes a huge factor for them, I'm so excited to see them on Cobble against someone like Virtus Pro. So a really nice combination on that map.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm glad we're talking about Train and Cobble. One map in particular that, Chad, you wanted to kind of highlight was something that went down on Train. Now, what exactly did you want to bring to light before we jump into battle?
This has just got to do with the way that VP like to approach their T-half. I've been saying the whole time they have a huge amount of depth, the most depth in any team, I would say. These are two smokes that VP throw at the start of most of their T-side rounds. It's to set the tone, you know. They're throwing these two deep smokes. It's taking the vision away from the CTs and forcing them to use a lot of utility or play relatively risky. So here we're seeing SK having to use 3 Molotovs right now just because of 2 smokes being placed down. This is in overtime. So previously you've seen them run defaults off this. They've done fast outside strats behind these smokes. You can basically just bait the CT utility and give yourself a fair firefight going into the yard by a simple move like this. Right here we're seeing them go into a default, but it's just I want to point out those 2 smokes because it's very important to how they pace their T side and how they approach it.
So for a $600 investment, they pull out what? 3 Molotovs?
Yeah, and in that environment they just did, you know. And when the team gets complacent, you've done it 3 or 4 times in a row, they've used their Molotovs, but you haven't shown a peep. Next time you come out, they haven't used any Molotovs. You get through with no fire, you get to take some firefights, and away you go. This is a good tweet.
I love this one.
This is it. Things are getting very, very hot under the collar to start this one off. A bit of pre-match banter, it seems, as you see Simple steps in to say today, I'm going to destroy VP. Pasha had some choice words as well, describing, you will faster destroy your team than us. Now, this is fiery.
Now,
it is.
I also remember during the FPL drama with Simple, Taz came out and said afterwards, a lot of the Twitter stuff went down between MBK, Olaf, and so on. The end statement from Taz towards Simple being, you are not a god. You know, these guys are very, you know, in the face. They're not afraid to seem to give a little back here.
And I'm so up for that. I love that. More and more personalities in CS, please. We've lost one. Unfortunately, he's been residing and chained to the desk. But we've
safer
lost
back here.
It's still safe. You're less in the line of fire.
Yeah.
It seems like Simple and Pasha have been spitting some fire of their own, though. So it is time for the train call. What are we saying? Who's going to be getting to the station first?
It's Virtus Pro Online. I don't know if I want to do it yet, but...
You're still feeling it, though.
Yeah, I'm going to go for VP. I feel it should be NaVi, but... No,
So
I'm going to Virtus Pro.
You've got a hit and miss NaVi from yesterday, and you've got VP.
Yeah, I'm going VP hoping that they turn up.
Just
online.
a team name from you, Chad.
NaVi.
Okay, we've got a nice VP NaVi split on the desk, and so it's time to research for some answers with your casting duo. It's the deadly, it's the vivacious, it's the outstanding. Sada Kiss and Henry G.
Thank you, Alex. With that many compliments, I am starting to believe, too, as we will get into Virtus Pro and NaVi. What a matchup.
Oh, we had a good one yesterday. It's kicking off nicely every single evening, it seems. Matthew, my sexy little samurai, how are you doing this evening?
You know, believe it or not, the Sadokist Sexy Samurais are currently sitting #2 in our fantasy league.
Excellent. That's not too bad.
That's not bad. Where are you on the list?
Third place. London Mints,
right.
Climbing up the ladder, as they always were.
14 points behind me.
Yeah,
Moses is winning.
It's true, but early days. It's got a whole week to go. But Matthew, Natus Vincere versus Virtus Pro on train as well. Quite a tantalizing prospect, I would say. And it will be NaVi starting on the CT side here. VP, of course, on the T side. We'll have a look at the buys as we jump into this first game of the season, the second night of Season 5. It's going to be an absolute banger as we get into it. As Chad mentioned, Virtus Pro known for their use of smokes on this map. You can see they've purchased 2 of them to kick things off here. We have Bialy. He's got a smoke. Same story of Neo. They've got a little P250 chucked in there as well. A bit more range of those headshots. A lot more one-tap potential than the Glock. And Neo's lining up a smoke already. Decoy, in fact. Okay, so that's going to be just taking a little bit of attention. That goes towards Connector. Quite an interesting little one there. So they can see it's a decoy. The CDs have spotted that. Simple getting aggressive, and it looks like it will be an inside execution, judging by the setup right now.
Just to speak about that decoy as well, I'm surprised more teams don't throw that as the default smoke, because you could smoke off Z Connector on a B hit from that position, but down the ladder they go. That's into a blunder. Simple's waiting for it, but Taz is there. Talk about that little rivalry they had. Guardian, meanwhile, starting up atop of the train, is going to try and spot exactly which side they want to try and approach, but as he goes out and overextends, it's Bialy holding the line. He took down Edward beforehand from just outside of Pop Dog, leaving C's to respond to him, but finds himself as such in a 1 versus 3. Pop him down as well for Virtus Pro, and C's does not have a kit. There's one down on top of the site, but he's got to get that far first and foremost as he spots up that Snacks is above. Can hear the glass go out. That baits in Taz, and VP with a very convincing round.
Lovely stuff from them. Like we said, they're a very deep team in terms of Virtus Pro, especially on train. Lots of strategies up their sleeve. Those decoys, especially on a map like train, throwing those over the top of the map at the start. Chad mentioned baiting out utility. Those decoys flying across the top, they can actually look like smokes. They can look like some sort of inside execution and coming very quickly at that point. Obviously, the CD saw as a decoy, but they showed a lot of presence towards Brown Halls, the upper area, push the CDs back, took that vision away, back towards outside they go. They win their duels, equal exchanges, and they manage to take the round. So it's a good start for VP here. Going to be coming in with 3 AK-47, 3 UMPs. There is a force buy from NaVi in return. Desert Eagles, 5 Stevens, and some head armor as well. Of course, Guardian, the AWPer, he'll be taking things a little bit more carefully, won't be getting that armor himself. So another inside take, and you can see the bait coming towards that Ivy area. That's going to be Pasha, presumably. He's always in that position, and the fragging begins. VP sweeping that inside bomb site. Pasha does go down on the other side of the map, but that's fine. He knows he's got one player anchored towards that area, and the bomb should go down quite convincingly here.
Deagle shot missed from Simple. Looks for the miraculous 1 Deagle. He's known for it as much as any other. I'd say still, if I saw Deagle in anyone's hands, although he doesn't seem like the flashiest player you could probably name in the list, I would say Dupree still scares me the most just based on his odd consistency with the weapon, but Simple's definitely flashy enough to hit the shots. That said, this round he goes down. Edward's got the UMP and armor. Molotov, save it. CT side, gonna have to save pretty much incompletion in the next round, so keep what he can.
Yeah, Chad and I, when we were kind of looking at the clips of Virtus Pro earlier, we were trying to work out what would be kind of demonstrate the kind of tactics they normally approach. We tried to discuss the fakes and the smokes. We went with the smokes, obviously, Chad discussed. But Pasha, known to be working that Ivy area quite a lot of the time. What's good about that, he's consistently there as well. It means if he does want to fake it and be there by himself, that's great. A lot of teams know he does that, but at the same time, he can show that same position by himself. His teammates are ready to go towards outside. So that's why it's quite versatile. Even though a lot of people know he does that, they're not entirely sure where the rest of the teammates will be going. Inside, normally a safe bet, especially towards that upper platform as well. Bird's eye view of the bomb site. And Edward, he manages to pick up, I believe there was a fallen UMP from Pasha towards that IB area, so he'll be taking that to the next round. Shouldn't do too much damage. It goes down straight away. So that's a nice shot from Snacks to open things up, keeping things fast. But the little Zeus here from Simple, will he be able to do anything with this? Close range. He has been detected.
They sensed it. I think they just brushed him on the way by and realized it in the radar. They weren't bumping up against an object, so they'll take him down. Interesting, that first shot as well, you mentioned it. Very fast shot from Snacks to catch off Edward. Issue with that being that Edward was the one with the gun, was trying to get in position up close with the UMP to catch them off. That pretty much took out any chance of surprise for them in that round.
What's good about that from Virtus.pro as well, we normally discuss about rushes being a real big, dangerous factor on against these anti-ecos. Train, not so much. The choke points are very wide open. Once you get out of main entrance, very unlikely to see this can even be that close range to you. You can get out there, you have the range advantage, as you saw in that round. But Matthew, this is where things get interesting. Guardian, Glass Cannon AWP, one of the world's best AWPers. He had a great game yesterday. We'll see whether he can replicate that form going up against Virtus.pro. A big gun round here. It's Simple, like we said, pointed it out. He said he's going to destroy Virtus.pro tonight. He's towards that upper round position and not falling back just yet.
Guardian waiting for the sliver of a pixelet long. Good play from Simple. Gets in the right position at the right time, but can't land a shot on Neo. Gets him in the red. But the problem is he can't commit to this either because Snacks can easily walk out. From upper, hit the shot. They've got two players that have already gone down the ramp that can back up. I take that back. There's one. It's Taz, but we're still for Simple. He gets in for free. Is that leg from Taz or on our end? Because he gets tagged to 34, but then ends up in behind the train. Either way, leaves him alive, leaves it to a 5 versus 2. That's going to switch, though, because Seized finds Taz on a rotation back toward the outer side as he tries to push through B and catch rotations. And Flamey, snuck up toward the alley, is going to catch them off, coming back through Pop Dog. Snacks tries to bait out a bomb tap, doesn't go all the way through with it, and Flamey therefore finds him immediately after. What a turn of events. A 5 versus 2 to a 2 versus 1. And Pasha with an AWP has to clutch it back for Virtus.pro. Bomb drop beside the train. 44 seconds to work with, but inside of the smoke, he found the silhouette, but not the shot.
A massive round there for NaVi. Like he said, a 5 versus 2, but it's Flamey coming in the flank there, finding 3 huge frags. It's being an absolute nuisance there. Nice movement, very calm, and he found players in front of him as well. It looked like a clean sweep of Virtus.pro at that point. That would have been a huge round for them to pick up as well. They win that, it's almost guaranteed to be a 5-0. We knew it was a difficult round for Natus Vincere going into that one. Glass Cannon for Guardian as well. Flamey saves the day as usual. He's been great in 2017. But round number 5 comes in. It's still money available for Virtus.pro. The first real gun round here. Both teams fully equipped. And we got a bit of aggression from Simple here. He's got himself towards the server. Going to be baiting himself in with that smoke. But yet to be seen he's going to be boosted up at all. He's only got that UMP. Very good in close range situations. Just trying to buy himself some time here. But Snacks, aggressive as ever. Let's get taken down by Edward from heaven.
Nice shot from Simple, catching Pasha, trying to push through the smoke at Ivy. So NaVi looking to bounce back after their first win in the gun round by silencing VP right after. However, it's them in the 5 versus 2 this time, and their turn to turn it around as Neo will find C. Smokes off on Z Connector as well. It's going to allow the bomb to get in position, but watch as it goes down at default, because coming in from the flank, Edward has already climbed up from Pop Dog, and he's going to get on the backside of Taz immediately. Doesn't even matter. Guardian's got the kill. It's all to Neo in the middle of the site, and that means multiple angles by which he can be taken down. Guardian finds it first, and it'll go 3-2.
There it is. We said Guardian was good yesterday. He is replicating the same form. 3 big frags for him. This is certainly a stomping ground train. He is very, very good on this map indeed, and it will be a real nuisance. The bomb does go down for Virtus.pro, but it doesn't look like they've got enough to buy, but they will be forced in a situation. So 3 players will be limited. They get an AK-47 on Snacks. I think Neo has dropped an AWP over, presumably to Pasha. That's what's interesting about this team. Very diverse, all being AWPers at one point, it seems. And it looks like, yes, Pasha will be taking an AWP. At the Major, he looked great. It's one of the best AWP performances I think we've ever seen from him in CSGO. A real return to form in that respect. And it will be a double AWP set up on the other side of the server as well. Guardian and C's, interesting enough. It's normally Simple that does that double AWP on most maps. And C's now, who was the secondary AWPer before Simple came in, he'll be taking that role over this time.
Guardian from Ivy, looking toward A main, nearly spots a shoulder pick. A nice little strafe jump mechanism to try and bait out a shot. It does do so successfully, but they don't capitalize on top of it. The nade's going to go beyond Simple. That's what it does do, is call for a rotation. And Simple, having not been spotted here before, is going to try and make his way up behind the server, thinks better of it. And you have to wonder what was the better call in this, because smoke's going to dissipate. They've got a boost. Simple's locked into this cubby now. If he even moves, if that boost is still in effect, seemingly not, he would have been found. Instead, they're going to advance. Snacks is going to check it. Gun barrel shows. Shots come through with the M4. Jumping mechanic, I question in that.
I think he's hoping for the AWP to be on the other side. Is like definitely a Hail Mary play, but still a 4-on-4. And considering the gun power that VP have available, this does favor Natus Vincere. We'll see whether Guardian C's can step up. And just as I said, there it is. Another shot from Guardian. Takes down Taz.
And he's going to turn his attention back that direction as well, knowing bomb's down, but has to be aware of the fact that no one's watching A main. Was that behind the wall or was that clear sight? I couldn't even tell. May have been just in behind the door. Good shot as he snaps back to find Bialy, but immediately after it goes down, he couldn't possibly take two from that angle. Neo with the deagle. He's opened the round back up to a wild possibility. Seized as well on the AWP, is elected to go for the pistol instead. Now Neo's tagged in low, but Pasha's the X factor in this because he's already pushed in past Hal, left the ball in the open, but he's gonna go hunting for Seized, who can't find the headshot, and they'll pick up the round. Close call.
Absolutely. Well, it was a force buy from Virtus Pro. It's Pasha to finish things off there with the AK-47. Started with that AWP as well, but Guardian, a couple of impressive shots there, but lots of exchanges going on in VP. Steal around away. That was a force buy. Limited. Deagles, UMPs, AWP and an AK, and I think the deciding factor there was that Neo Deagle from across the bomb site there. Long range and manages to nail it. It's going to be a force buy in return for NaVi. Guardian with that AWP. He's definitely capable of winning these rounds for his team, and it's an equal exchange. Grenades come towards main entrance. The airstrike comes in, takes down Pasha, but he did get a kill before he went down.
Shotguns billowing out towards the VP entranceway. Remember, Snacks is in this game. He's not the one on the shotgun, he's on the op, but I love seeing that shotgun brought up in his hands. Guardian, meanwhile, rotating over will catch Taz, brings the deficit to just 1, 3 versus 2. He spots the foot.
My God.
Neo going on his own, just shows himself off in a slow fashion. A Guardian nails it. Good shot from Simple. That's the deagle we talked about, but he's left to his lonesome. As Snacks did catch off his teammate with the AWP battle. And Simple's trying to evade Flames and all the like because Flash is going out from him. Flames hitting the top of the train. It seems a graphical glitch because he hasn't lost any HP. He's a little bit confused by it too as Snacks is going to rotate bomb over to inner.
Well, we have got an AK picked up for Simple now, and he's going to be going from Pop Dog as well. So a nice position to be in. He knows the bomb's going down this area. He might have just played this perfectly.
He's made a lot of noise, though, and I think Snacks is aware of it, so he started to back away accordingly. Remember, Snacks is still on the AWP as well, which means he's got the range game, he's got the angle, and it's 5-2 now for Virtus Pro.
Yeah, it seems Snacks got some sort of sound cue at that point. I thought Simple would be there just in time to deny the plan. It was an open one from Snacks going down, but it was denied. The force buy does not work out there. Like we said, Guardian with an AWP in his hand, always going to be dangerous in those situations. Definitely viable. It was a big round. They wanted to shut down the economy for Virtus Pro before it had a chance to swell. Not going to be the case this time. Came very close at 1v1, but now it's going to be a full eco here for NaVi. They get some P250s, default pistols, not really much else to work with, and it will be Taz with that MAC-10 to try and do some work here.
Taz getting aggressive with the MAC-10 as well. He's going to push into the side. Edward goes down, but that's at the hands of Bialy, who followed up on Taz's damage. The MAC-10 lost. However, as you say, it's the reconnaissance gun, and they've got it down to a 4 versus 1. And while I have the moment, while we're on this anti-eco situation where they're just planting the bomb and holding off Seized, the tweets that we talked about at the start of the show.
Yeah.
KRB saying, we didn't play our best, but we still won. I didn't take that assault. I just think that means they know there's room for improvement. They're pleased with the win. I didn't take that as anything as a jab to VP.
Tweet. I thought he was saying, like, okay, we didn't perform, but we stayed together as a team. I think that's the point he was making, right?
But the one thing is, if Taz took that offensively, they need to give themselves a good look. They had an 8-2 lead and 3 force buy wins on the second half of this map 3 of the major, and still lost. So it's not like they were perfect either.
Yeah, it was definitely an interesting tweet. Obviously, emotions were riding high at that point, Matt. It's always a disappointing situation to be in, and you can forgive him for it. Like, I think
I don't read into it too much either way.
Lost in translation a little bit there, I guess, but still, it was an interesting tweet to see. But there we go. Virtus Pro, they did have a similar tweet tonight towards Simple after he said he's going to destroy them.
That one was kind of funny,
Pasha came back and said, you will destroy your own team before you destroy ours. Didn't bit of my friend at the end as well, which is uncharacteristic, I have to say.
That's true. That's true.
So he was.
But he is not my brother. Or he's not my friend. He is my brother, my friend.
You're not my friend. You're my brother, my friend.
I mean, look, that's just the old meme about Simple's toxicity.
Yeah.
More than anything.
Well, then, it was quite a clean sweep there. 6-2, a really nice lead here for Virtus Pro. Another difficult buy, though, for NaVi. They don't have the firepower from the Guardian AWP. 5 rifles, 1 kit. Look at the utility map. 1 smoke remaining as we hit the 1 minute 40 mark and a couple of flashes. This is a really rough round. A full execution will shut them down at this point. And you can see Edward, he has to make something happen. He's pushing into A main. He knows he needs a pick. Something has to happen. They're up against the ropes there. They can't just sit back and allow VP to execute. We know how good they are at those situations.
Let's see if that can continue forward. Bialy looking top of the ladder. See if anyone's down below as they get ready with the execution. Smokes are actually going to go onto the A site from Bialy, but I have a strong suspicion that this is going to be a B hit. Okay, I take that back. Taz and Pasha in on that position at the upper entrance onto B suggested that to me that they would look to go with 4 players. Instead, they try and sell that further by rotating back down the halls. They take their time getting into B, and Flamey's in position to cut them off. I'm not sure I agree with that hesitation in the strategic call. They were ready to go on B.
Can't argue with Flamey's performance there as well, though, to be fair. The turret sitting in that inner bomb site. We said Edward had to go big there. He gets the information towards A main. That almost funnels him back towards inside. They've lost map control towards outer. At that point, they have to go to the inner, and it works perfectly. We said NaVi had to perform here, and Bialy might have something to say about that. He's down to 10 HP with 25 seconds. The round should be decided, considering the bomb's down towards inner as well. But yeah, I agree. The hesitation, they know the money's going to be low for NaVi at that point. And it's just Edward's move there. We said they had no utility to work with. Someone had to step into an advantageous position. Edward does that. He locks down A main, finds that first kill, takes him towards inner, and that's where the trap has been set. Flamey's been playing great so far. Yes, they have only 2 rounds, but both of those rounds, he's stepped up massively. And the third they're going to pick up presumably as well. He finds 3 kills. A really good player in fantastic form right now. Simple to finish things off, and NaVi claw one back against all odds there. Very nice stuff indeed. It's going to be 6-3. So, the war of attrition begins, Matthew. It's been forced by City here at the moment. So we can see Neo just under $2,000. Taz, similar situation, 3K. So they can certainly buy into this round, but it's going to be another weak buy. And considering the lead they have right now, I was going to say maybe not worth it. Maybe just keep the lead as it is, but they are going to be forcing here. Neo doesn't look like he'll be investing anything. He just gets a utility, so he'll be
chilling in spawn.
The cannon fodder, it seems. He gets a P250. They throw him something in the end, but you know what? A scout, a PT-53 AKs. It's going to take a set piece at this point, Matt. You can't really depend on this sort of buy to win your rounds. I'd say a full execution is very likely. That's why Neo opted to go for no weapon here. He wants the utility to provide his teammates a superstar to get in there and find some frags. Some big damage. I think that's the wallbang towards Bialy from outside.
He's at to 14.
That's a really, really
Guardian
well
knows both lineups on that, but it's on NM4. Simple. He's trying to spray toward Pop Dog, and they're slowly getting down lower in that position, but as such, they're going to go over toward B Flamey. He's ready for it this time. You said turret on top of the train. It's the back train. He's a little bit further with a wider angle to cover upper. He's also got seized a little bit closer, which means he doesn't necessarily have to watch both sides or keep his eye on lower. They like to switch it around, though. Seized goes on top of the mid of the bomb train. Flamey can call for information. Soon as he does, he can watch lower. Now they've got a problem. He's flashed off. Doesn't relay the information in time. Seized has to react on his feet. Does for 1 kill, but Flamey's gone because he's left in the open as a result. Seized does well, all things considered, to bring it in their favor in terms of trades.
Yeah, well, they're going to struggle at this point. It's going to be a 4 on 3. Some more damage being inflicted there. Bialy still on 14. He gives this gun over towards Neo, who has to make something happen. He's going to be trying to work this upper area. He hasn't seen an orb yet and does significant damage. Finally takes down Edward there and equalizes things. And Snack still trying to do work with this scout. He will be punished by Guardian, but some damage being inflicted on the CT side as well. Still anyone's round at this stage, but considering there's 15 seconds, I would heavily favor towards the CTs.
Shots rain through. Neo takes down Guardian, tries to bring it back, but there's Simple on the doorstep. Takes down 2, including a spray through to get Neo, and I mean through because it had a little animation. I'm not sure if it went through the wall, the top window. Either way, look back. This is the previous round, not the one we just played, but you said it, Flamey turret peeks it perfectly. And the closer train does allow you to isolate the peaks for each entrance. The back train that time, he had to rely on Seized position, but the flashbang actually caught him off perfectly.
So I called that the war of attrition for one reason, right? Obviously, Virtus.pro force buying into that round. The reason they've done that, no loss bonus being accumulated for NaVi. They've only won a single round there. It's very unlikely their money's in a decent situation. And they go for it. They make it a close round, but ultimately, it was quite a clean sweep for NaVi. You can see Guardian now, he knows they're going to be eco, pushing, trying to farm some cash with this SMG, pushing towards Ivy by himself. It's not a big deal if he goes down, really. He's found a kill so far. Gone down to 8 HP. He'll just be trying to stay alive, using everything he's got. Throws in another kill. It's actually Flamey that takes down Neo in the end. So it's going to be poor old Bialy now. Once again, low HP towards the dumpster. And I'm sure... Oh, I saw a knife coming in now. I bet that's Simple. I'm just going to assume. It's always... Yep, it was. He always just runs in with a knife. He never turns out an opportunity to get a little bit stabby there. So...
I like running in with a knife.
Yeah. Well, who doesn't? Well, at this point, we do have the SMGs picked up for NaVi. We talk about this all the time. The UMP, especially in this current state of CSGO, I would say, it's a very viable weapon, especially for a player like Edward, who's playing main entrance, very close range position. He can make things happen with that, but more importantly, Guardian has the orb. Virtus.pro outside rush. This is their bread and butter. They throw this in when times get tough, and they normally pull it off.
Ooh, shot Bialy onto Edward. Or he can get in position. Simple responding, gets the second on Snacks as he falls down, and there's the headshot on Bialy as well. What a recovery from Simple, sidestepping. However, he blocks up his teammate, which costs Flamey, who tries to strafe away, and Neo hits him back in return. It has to be pulled by Seized, and it is. So he does something very good, and then something very clumsy, not intentionally, but nearly costs them, actually.
Yeah, well, like I said, Virtus Pro normally fall back to that outside rush, to say, when things start to get a bit rough for them. Simple said he's destroyed his team tonight, and what a great display of skill that was with the AK-47. Very confident. You can see he wanted the fourth as well, even though that was the wrong play to make at that time. He's low HP. His teammates are dropping beside him. They've got a huge advantage. He wants to put on a show for them and send out a message. He gets 3 kills, can't find the fourth, but knocking Virtus Pro down to another eco here. It will be Tech9's P250s, 4 smokes. This will be an execution round. Smokes towards outside. Objective, get the bomb down. Certainly possible to win the round, but pretty unlikely. The main objective, let's get that bomb down. We'll push for our own smokes and see if we get some run and gun potential going with these Tech9s. But 4 rounds in a row now for NaVi. Going back on the AWP as well. There he is towards Ivy. Spotted a couple of players out. As usual, the terrorist trying to bait up a shot, try and work out where he is. Smokes come in, and he'll be just rattling off shots there. Simple finds the first frag of the round.
Does indeed.
Aggressive.
Always aggressive. 15 kills now on round 13. It's not anything massive, but it's good enough. It's plenty. As Simple. He's going to sit back and wait this out. Guardian flashed off, tries to play the angle, but can't do anything to compensate for how quickly Pasha arrives on the scene until Edwards shows up to take it back against Bialy. This was all for naught. Neil gets a bomb plant down, and 4 rounds against them, and not the worst money in terms of buying the next round in the bank. This bomb plant's going to mean potentially even whatever they want. Double op. T-side, doubt it,
absolutely.
But it's possible.
They've run that in the past. They do run a double orb setup on the T-side, so that's certainly a possibility. The defaults aren't really working out for them. The rushes haven't really been fantastic. Double orb setup, we've seen it before with VP. I wouldn't be surprised if it comes in. It'd normally be Neo and Pasha, maybe Snacks and Pasha as well. We'll see what happens here. We'll just be the single orb setup for now. But like we said, the maximum loss bonus, the bomb going down as well, they're in a much healthier position. But NaVi have taken the lead at this point, and they're back to a double AWP setup themselves. It seems they've readjusted. They've obviously had a bit more time to work this lineup. It was Simple, certainly on the double AWP setup, but Seized, he seems to be more prominent on this map, it seems, at least on the CT side. As Guardian, he's known for this, pushing towards Ivy, but Pasha, he's ready for it, takes him down, and they've got an early advantage there. No need to commit, but Seized, he gets a frag back and return towards Inner.
Pasha waiting as well out toward Ivy. Favorite position, I think, for Pasha of anywhere in the entire world. Real world as well. I'm sure if you asked him what he dreams about at night, it's Ivy. And I don't mean the plant. As Simple gets through, and there's why. Fires back in the smoke, spots the tracers, nails him down, but it's going to be Taz ousted by Seized, who then plays Old Train Alley, limiting very much the possibilities to catch him off from open angles, more so because Snacks goes down, Edward finding him. It's Pasha that has to get aggressive, finds Seized, knows that Edward's back toward the bomb in some capacity, but where's he gone with that smoke down? So we'll check off the alleys. While he does that, Old Bomb Alley, which he just cleared and just got the kill inside of, is now occupied by a rotating Flamey, and it won't even go that far. Edwards got it to go 8-6.
Well then, it was 6-2 at one point, but that's going to be 6 rounds in a row now for NaVi. And we go into round number 15, of course, it's a buy situation. Still having maximum loss bonus for Virtus Pro. They're going to have enough for AK-47s and head armor. Not a full array of utility, but enough to work with. It's just Pasha who bought the AWP in the previous round. He'll just have the AK and no nades whatsoever. So NaVi really turning up the heat here. This double AWP setup has been very powerful indeed. We'll see whether Virtus Pro can string something together to get another round here. This is not normally as many rounds we're used to seeing from them on their T side. Normally very powerful indeed and looking very confident in their play. Still a great CT side as well, as is by no means over. Let's be clear here as we go into the final round of the first half. Again towards Ivy. 3 players there this time, and a decent Molotov to actually take Guardian out of position. So now they've got a bit more control of this area. They can smoke off towards the right-hand side if they want to, block him out. That's what they know he is. There it is. And they may wrap around towards inner here. You can see there's a player waiting towards the lower ramp inside. So they could go all the way through CT spawn at this point.
Seized there, hits one. I think he actually tagged a player through the wall, through the body, through the wall, and into Pasha. He's got another one as he takes down Bialy. Looks for the third, but will not find it. Taz going down, though, leaves only 1 player left. That's Pasha. And he's found by Edward, making it 9-6 for VP. Great start. Virtus Pro as well. Train, CT side, usually their best.
I would say so, but what a recovery that was from NaVi. Like I said, 6-2 down. Once they got the double orbs out, Guardian starts turning up the heat. Some massive rounds from Flamey as well. Certainly sent a message back towards VP. Some great plays from either side. Simple, the MVP for me so far.
Well, we'll take a short break. Jump back in. Still going to be a hot match, no doubt. We'll be right back. Well, welcome back to it. 9-6 in this game for NaVi over top of Virtus Pro. The score at halftime that I'm currently looking at for the Mouse Sports and NIP game is the same. And it does appear that NIP's the one in the lead there. I take that back. They just swapped over, so the scoreboard was updating. It's actually 9-6 for Mouse Sports. Lowell, by the way, 19 kills first half. Forrest, 16. Sadok's Sexy Samurais are killing it again.
NIP, rough start to this Pro League so far. It's not looking too good after that heavy defeat to Heroic yesterday and a poor start against Mouse. Question's got to be asked, what were they doing when everyone else at the major? I thought they'd be kind of recalibrating and some new strategies there, working with Threat, kind of revitalizing themselves. It's interesting to see them looking much weaker than before the major.
I could totally see two minds on that. One is you definitely want to stay motivated and absolutely play through it as if you're kind of bitter that you're not there, as you should be. And the other is maybe it's time to take a short little relaxation period during that time. Who are you going to play? Who are you going to scrim? I would have gone with the former. I would definitely be putting in the work.
Yeah, I would be saying we need to come back to 2017 with a new idea of how to play the game, watch what's going on there.
That was what they did in 2016. The first quarter and end of Q1, start of Q2, that's when NIP looked the most innovative of all teams.
Yeah, they kind of evolved as a team. They brought threats in and kind of looked like a team that has been reborn. That was the headline message of that. And for me so far, I didn't get to watch that game against Heroic yesterday, so I can't comment too much, but that's a game they should be picking up, especially with Heroic and the coach. That doesn't make any sense on paper. But regardless, this one certainly does make sense. It's going to be NaVi 9-6, and we swap halves. They're on the T side here. And VP pick up the pistol back to 9-9 if all things go to plan for them. And we really have got a game on our hands at that point. So have a look at the buy for the Ts. That's normally the more interesting talking point. It will be C's with a smoke, and same story for Guardian as well, who has a CZ on the pistol round. That's quite rare to see, actually. And we'll see whether he can do anything with it as we get into this one. Looks like most of the players heading towards inside. Pasha, though, waiting at upper ramp, ready and waiting to greet them.
Pasha backing away from that position as well, trying to get information, but this brings Snacks up. He knows they're there, and they know he's gone up the ladder because he made an absolute boatload of noise.
Yeah, he certainly did. A lot of footsteps, I guess. What would you call that?
Footprints, footsteps on the ladder. The rungs of the ladder being rung. He rung the rungs?
I think he assumed it was going to be a fast execution from them, so he tried to have a sneaky approach there, but simple headshotting towards Neo now. So it's going to be the man advantage and heavy damage inflicted to another player on the CT side.
It would have been amazing if he knew they slowed down and went up and down the ladders, and they were like, what is he doing? And then Taz repeaks and is like, what's up? Or Pasha, I suppose it was, sorry. That would have been cool.
Well, we're waiting for a reaction for the CTs right now. Pasha in a decent position to hold it inside by himself, I guess. He has got some rotation coming from Neo, but he's the low HP player. He's just trying to pop heads at long range. That's what he's trying to do. Just hold that lower ramp area, hopefully get some one-shot kills, get some intel, and stay alive. That's pretty much all he can hope for at this point.
Oh, that's exactly what he hoped for and what Pasha will get. Edward, his head does get popped from long range. Pasha's going to relocate as well, playing over by where Taz normally plays on gun rounds. So interesting to see Pasha here, not toward Ivy. The flash comes across. Pasha hits another lovely headshot. Knows that one's bypassed him as well. He goes hunting for Simple, but Simple gets the last laugh out of that Twitter exchange because now he turns to find Taz as well. The two players that created a response to his initial tweet. It leaves B Alley 1 versus 3. Flash goes down toward the bottom of the ramp, but they've already got the ball planted, and Simple, of course, is the one to find the third and final kill.
Yep, it was very well played there. From NaVi overall, they get that nice early pick there. They do some HP damage towards Ivy as well. They slowed things right down. Very disciplined round for them. Trying to get some intel. They saw there's a player towards upper round. That's Pasha, of course. They leave that area, go towards lower, and use power and numbers towards that lower ramp. Equal exchange at that point, and Simple. He's been great so far. Finds a few more kills as he picks up a silent USP. Round number 2 is 10-6 in favor of NaVi. They hit double figures. Not so much a full investment here from VP. They get a scout out. Ooh. And Neo, he's been good with that deagle so far, finds another headshot. He takes down Simple.
Son, how's it going? Neo looking to do damage as he tries to hold him off. Still with that deagle. He's backed away and stayed alive long enough as he's just trying to hunt him down. Eventually will get him as he tried to rotate all the way around past Hitch and draw them in toward the bomb site and get Pasha a chance to come in from behind with the scout. That's not going to happen as Edward finds Taz. It is just Pasha, and I think he might just bail on this.
I think he might have to at this point. The scout, certainly a viable weapon to save into the next round. Give it to someone like Snacks. He's very, very good with that weapon indeed. Just trying to inflict some damage into the next round. If he can find a kill as players are rotating back and trying to save their weapons, he sees an Edward, they'll have to run away from the bomb. So if he gets himself in a decent position, maybe he can get a couple more kills here, as it will be NaVi, after losing the first couple of frags, recovering and using those SMGs as Edward finds 2 kills. Same story for Seized as well. But Pasha, like we said, just lurking around now, trying to hear some sort of sound cue, get something working in his favor. He gets an exit frag and upgrades to an AK. We saw what that can do. Simple did it yesterday on Overpass. You save one player with an AK-47 surrounded by pistols, fireworks can go off. So that's what he's hoping for right now.
Oh, come on. All right, fair enough.
Let him off.
He's got to hit this one. Edward's low enough. Go back to the pistol. And Guardian finds him from the top of the stairs.
He takes 2 down with him, right? He doesn't save the scout, but he's dented the economy somewhat. It has not got a swell for NaVi at this point, but it's 11-6, and a tactical pause comes in. So I'd assume this might be technical, you know. There's no real reason for Virtus Pro to take a pause at this point. They're going to be eco regardless. So I'm going to speculate it will be technical right now. It's a little bit of unknown quantity pauses at online matches. I think the rule that we heard about yesterday, it's tactical pause. So who's that for?
Yes.
Would that be? There's no real reason for either side to take a tactical pause.
Well, I'm sure that you've called their bluff, Henry. You found it.
Henry
Don't
knows.
play poker with Henry G because you will never win.
Yeah. So yeah, just to explain to any new
production.
viewers, that for the reason there's no real reason to take a tactical pause right now. VP don't want to waste it because they can't buy it this round whatsoever, and NaVi they know they're up against a full eco. There's no real reason to waste a tactical pause, and actually you want to be saving those for the high pressure situations, not these ones. So it will be technical. Online CS sadly is plagued with those who are not in the same building. Everyone's in a different building around the world, and the internet providers sometimes not too kind to us, you know. It certainly happens, even in 2017, believe it or not. As we get into this one, it should be quite a relatively quick fix.
Well, 11-6 for NaVi with no pistol for Virtus Pro. That's one thing to mention. Remember yesterday, here we go. See, there's the tweet. I'm going to come back to this tweet, or the tweet I was mentioning, but this is Simple saying he was going to destroy them. Well, that seems to be true thus far. What's the score that he had before?
He's at 20
like
now. Close to 20 frags.
Yeah.
And so yes.
And how's Pasha?
So Pasha is on
14. So he's the next highest. He's doing what he can to get it back, but no, he's definitely Simple's helping more than hurting, I would say.
He's not destroying them right now, but he's doing a very good job of putting up a decent performance, you know. So he's still got some time. He can have some if he have a couple more big rounds of 3Ks, that's when he gets to destroy levels. But
I would say as well, one of the tweets that we had to mention at the start of the show was the 0-2, or excuse me, the NaVi saying that they lost every pistol. I think there was 0-2 for pistols.
They got one map still.
Yeah, exactly. So the fact that they won a pistol in this round, in this game, that's already an improvement on that. It's a big statistic. The way Counter-Strike works, the way the economy works, I don't need to explain that to anyone who's played more than 5 hours of the game. Pistol rounds are crucial.
Yeah, it's been a huge talking point of Counter-Strike throughout the ages of the game, whether pistol rounds have too much impact on the game. And
yeah, should we start 10K and have save rounds rather than pistol starts?
That's why the powerful pistols in CSGO, that's why there's an argument against that, saying that the pistols now, even on the eco rounds, you have a chance with them to actually get something going. As long as you're smart about your decisions, you're good at the executions. So it's like 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. Are you a fan of the pistols having too much weight, or do you want these overpowered pistols to be able to have potential to win big rounds as well? So that's why it's always an interesting discussion. I'll be on the desk later, so maybe I can have a little discussion with Chad, and we can maybe debunk it and work out what's going to be.
Chad's a lovely man to talk to.
Yeah, I haven't been on the desk yet. You had the pleasure yesterday.
I did.
Talking about your favorite team, Mouse Sports.
Yeah, Lowell. He's currently sitting on, okay, well, it's gone to 11-7. Mouse Sports still in the lead. He's gone a little bit quieter. In fact, it's guys like Oscar stepping up now. He's on 16 kills. Forrest still on 18, 1.4 and 1.223 rating, respectively. So Samurai's killing it.
Yeah, that's just anyone's aware. That's of the Pro League game we have going right now. We have 2 streams at once. If you want to watch all the Counter-Strike, you can split screen it and watch both games. But Dave, make sure you listen to our voices, though. We've got the best ones, I think.
Well, you know, mine's good. Yours is okay. You just sound like a generic Brit.
My dulcet tones have been enriching people's lives for the last year, Matt. So, you know, I would say stay here.
It's a shame those people had such bad lives that could do that. I pity the dark places they came from, that you were a positive light.
You know what? I'm not even going to fight back. I'm just going to move on to this round.
It's fine. It's good that you accept defeat.
It's going to be Guardian who disconnected. Like I said, online CS, bit of a tricky one.
Did you want to explain that rule? You were going to touch on that based on the technical pauses.
I think what we decided was you have 5 minutes in total.
Well, we didn't decide.
Well, what we
let's just clarify that. We did not decide.
We definitely didn't decide.
We just made it up, threw it on paper.
What we heard
agreed.
on the meeting here at the first day, you have 5 minutes in total of pausing, regardless of technical or tactical. That timer ticks down, and then you have 5 minutes to sort your issues out. I think it's probably down to the opposition team. Like, they could probably enforce it and say, you've had your 5 minutes, but they obviously have the option to wait as well. So, like, you obviously want to have a fair game. You don't want to have a hollow victory. You can probably just say, yeah, we'll wait longer. It's fine. You know?
Reason as well that it seems like a weird way of doing it. 5 minutes, you can have a stand-in right away. Like, come on, that seems cutthroat. But it's the only way you can enforce it online, because remember, for online, you're not... at LAN, for example, when they call a timeout, you have an admin standing behind them, watching what they're doing, making sure there's no communication being made. You have someone that's unmuting and muting the coach so that they can't talk in the new rule.
Yeah.
And if a technical issue happens, you have admins there to sort it immediately, whereas if something happens online, there's lots of different variables. Who's to say they aren't calling technical when it is tactical and taking advantage of that, because you can't actually see what's happening. The only way to do it would be mute it's a nightmare.
There's a million different ways you could abuse that situation. But this is, like I said, there's no reason to take a technical, or tactical, I should say, pause at this point, so it's obvious this is technical. Guardian having a headset issue, I believe, we just heard.
Well, with that said, while he does that, we're going to take this moment to take a short little break, catch our breaths. We'll come back in a minute and continue things on. 11-6 for NaVi is where we leave off. Welcome back. We're going to get back into things pretty much right away. 11, did I say 6 or 5, Henry?
I think it was 6.
Let me double check that. I have this information at my fingertips, much like the information that Mouse Sports is on. That is true. It's 11-6 is where we were. So we joined immediately back in NaVi. CT side. They did beat Virtus Pro on a CT side on this map, which is impressive in itself because we know that's usually their best stronghold, I guess we could say.
Yeah, they're very strong on both sides of this map. It's a classic VP map overall, but NaVi have looked great so far. Great performances so far from Simple, Guardian as well, Flamey. Not so much impact to the gun rounds, but he saved them a lot of crucial situations they're up against it.
Here's where my scoreboards left me wrong because I may have the sides backwards in that because we saw Pasha playing in the pistol. Yeah, so I think Virtus Pro's on CT now. So that's something to watch because they could pull a comeback on that.
Wow.
My mistake.
That's why I kind of saved you a little bit and kind of
sure,
just
you're always saving me.
Just went with like they're good on both sides.
But I have to say, you can save me only so many times. But if it ever comes to it that you have to give me the kiss of death, I'd rather die. Just remember that.
Okay, I will.
CPR, I've gone mouth to mouth. Boys. I've gone mouth to mouth with you once before, Henry, and I have to say, it was I have to say, it was kind of rough. As we've got a blue screen, my favorite of all, and we're gonna get back into it, like I say. So, let me die, Henry. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I'll let you die, Matt. Don't worry about that. So, guys, you are just joining us. This is the first game of this evening. This is the piping hot game of the night. And the week, I guess, I think it was billed at. So, NaVi versus Virtus Pro. You missed a hell of a first half there. It was VP going up 6-2, and then a valiant comeback from NaVi to finish things off 9-6. We had a few technical issues there, and they seem to be continuing a little bit slightly. We're going to get back into it.
Can I just say that I thought Twitch chat was bad, YouTube chat, you guys are impressive.
What is this?
I didn't know that I
shouldn't have addressed it, but it is interesting to see. Is this a new meme?
I don't know. Maybe it is. The interesting thing about this is I didn't know that I had a 700 hertz refresh rate on my monitor because that's how fast chat's moving, and I can read all of that.
Oh, we're back.
That's us.
Hello. How's it going?
It's good. I should probably get
I'm wearing
plastic surgery so I look better on camera.
My granddad's jacket tonight.
I have one very similar that belonged to my dad. I wore it at Katowice last year. I should have worn it.
This is actually from the machine wardrobe.
That doesn't surprise me at all. Not
so,
even in the least.
I thought I'd mix things up,
You could have told me many other things I wouldn't have believed, but that is absolutely true. 100%. I'm good at that detective game. In fact, tell me a lie and a truth right now, and I guarantee you I'll get it right.
Right now?
Yeah, tell me one lie and one truth, and I'll pick them apart.
It's quite a ambiguous question to put me on the spot with.
Right. You ever think about that? I'm going to talk about how Simple on NaVi right now has been given. Now, you ever think? Stop thinking about what I'm saying and think about the lie and the truth.
Okay.
I'm going to talk about how Simple has been absolutely incredible tonight in playing a very loose, dynamic style. This is something we wanted to talk about when he came into NaVi. Keep thinking about that. Because when he came in, we knew that they were a structured team. They played very strategic game. A well-oiled machine in the fact that Guardian was given the freedom, but he was still the opera, which had his place in the team. Now they're giving Simple so much free reign, the others have to adapt, which puts them into a position that we don't necessarily know. Seized, for example, to play that well. Flamey is okay at adapting, but likes to play his own game. So it's great when it works, but it's why I think NaVi's more of a team that's going to come and go in waves as of late.
Okay, so I've got two statements.
We were talking about Simple now. I was hoping you would chime in with your strategic analysis.
Okay, so one statement I've got.
Okay.
Okay, ready for this? NIP, I got to beat Mouse Sports. The second one is Drop the Bomb Season 2 is returning in March. Which one do you think is the
You've
truth?
turned this around so well. The truth! Drop the Bomb is returning in March.
It is, so stay tuned. That's going to be amazing. But yes, Matt.
You're terrible at that game. You told me something I already know.
Yeah, I'm just trying to make sure we can plug ourselves, Take every opportunity you can get for self-promotion.
We can definitely plug ourselves, Henry. We've been known for that before.
And as
we are going to get into live. My point about Simple still stands, okay? It's 11-6. NaVi are about to get back underway, and we'll jump in as soon as possible. Now, keep in mind what I said about Simple, because I think we're going to see that as well when they go onto the terrorist side, even more so than when he was playing a swing position inside of the A site.
We're into. Oh no, we're not into it. I got a bit excited. I saw pistols and people running around.
No, because
bit of match
Cuban
medics
was
still coming in.
Yeah, Cuban was still on one of the teams when that started, Henry. You need to calm down. But now we're ready to roll. As Taz is going to get pushed back by way of a smoke. That's going to leave them in a situation with pistols. Remember, they were going on to a save. That's nothing new, but where they have to fight off NaVi's fast charge onto the B site. Good shot from Simple, but doesn't spot Taz below. Take down Simple. Edward Responds, gets him back, and it's now Neo that has to do work from afar with a Deagle, tagged on 33, no armor. Quick and easy shot from Edward, and oh, take your pick. Which Glock would you like? Which Glock would you like, Snacks? I would like all of the Glocks. Because the Glock rocks. Unsilenced USP. It's like 007 going rogue. It's probably not what it's like.
A little bit like that, I guess. But Snacks can't really do much here. It will be the 4 versus 1. The score at the top, it was 11-6, should be 12-6 now. So a clean sweep there for NaVi. Virtus Pro can't do much about it. Snacks trying to do what he can with the USP as he rotates in. Doesn't really work out for him. And now we are back into it. You can see the scoreboards rectified. And Virtus Pro still going to be struggling here. It's the CD side. It's a stronger economy to maintain. As they go into this one, it's going to be M4s across the board. No AWP available. Snacks quite close. 1 kill there. Would have actually got him the glass cannon, but not meant to be. Will be more for Guardian on the other side. So 5 M4s, 1 kit. The lack of grenade, that's such a problem. We saw this before from NaVi. Someone needs to go a little bit aggressive here, try and find that first pick, make something going in their favor. They can't really allow a full execution to come in. NaVi, known for, I guess they used to be known for that slow, methodical play, trying to find the first pick. They've got such a huge advantage this round. I'm sure they're going to be using it as we get into this one. 1 minute 30 remaining, and they've got full control of the upper area as well.
Pasha. Waiting in the same position as we often, I can't remember who it is we often see. Is it Lowell that plays there quite often? I can't remember. There's someone that often plays that position and waits for the drop down, allows the minute.
Oh,
I think it might have been
Hellraisers.
Was it Hellraisers? Okay, maybe it's Sticko.
Yes.
Either way, Pasha's going to back up from that position. The problem with it, and it's got some strengths. They commit before you can spot them, and therefore they're left vulnerable, but it does mean you bait your second player on the site by not spotting them coming in. Lovely shot from Guardian onto Snacks. As they get down to 2 versus 2, no bomb plant. A 12-6 scoreline and a very important round for Virtus Pro. I can't tell you what the lost round bonus is at because I don't have the information as to the previous rounds beforehand, but it will be accumulated and tallied accordingly, no doubt, as Guardian will take down Bialy, and it may need to be accumulated accordingly because Virtus Pro are not looking like they're going to reset it until now because Guardian goes low. Pasha's timing's off. He backs away. Guardian has the AWP. You give him a chance to line up a shot. The AWP means nothing. As Pasha had it locked out, he may get found in the end, and that's exactly what happens. Missed by a second.
Guardian, 4 kills in that round. It seemed like Virtus Pro had done just enough there. Guardian low HP, but he's so smart in those situations. We said that was a massive round going forward. Look at the scoreline right now. 13-6 as well. VP needed that round. It has to be another eco here. They can't even afford to force buy into this one. It's going to be 14-6. They come in with a Desert Eagles P250s, but Guardian, we said he'd been good so far, and he's certainly been delivering in the last couple of nights at least, as we go into a very big one indeed. It's going to be 13-6, and not really much VP can do to hold them off here. It's going to take some fantastic Deagle work. Neo's been good so far. Hopefully he can find a little bit more magic here. Oh, simple.
That's a tag. Did Snacks just hit him through the wall?
Yeah.
With the Deagle from outer?
Yep.
Dear Lord.
It's because Simple was wallbanging himself. So he gave his position away and actually said, yep, you know what, come headshot me here.
That was quite good. That was quite nifty.
And I'm presuming they would have heard the headshot noise. Snacks would have heard he dinks him.
So he's just trying to spam for the last shot.
So he knows he's done some damage there.
He's probably chuckling to himself. The op of Simple tagged to 4 against Pistols through a wall on a chance shot. Like you said, though, calculated chance shot. As Bialy backs away from the bottom of Pop Dog, Snacks will try and do work inside of the smoke at Ivy. That's where Seized is approaching. It's VP-esque. Smoke off the right, approach to the left, back away. There's going to be a gap above it, so you have to keep an eye on Green Train. As that smoke dissolves, though, Seized will round the corner. It's Neo he spots rotating over from the inner sight. Neo's just trying to bait him into a reload situation as best he can, but he still had numerous amount of bullets left, so it would have taken a long time. A better tag still as they catch off Edward, but Bialy goes down to 21. Tries again to go for the peak. They're all low. Everyone's low. Seized as well. There's still a chance in this. The Seized Ed. Pasha's got 2, and Flamey's got 3 HP. Simple has 1. Edward has 5. There's more HP on Pasha than there is on all 3 of the guns of NaVi. And Pasha just has to isolate them and find the right chance shots. If they don't play this as a perfect unit on NaVi's side, he alone could pull this back. And there's the first opportunity, but Flamey makes no mistake to take his head off.
Well, that was a very exciting round indeed. I kind of built it as being another redundant round there, but they did significant damage. And this will be a tactical pause coming in at that point. That got very scary indeed. You're absolutely right. Pasha in that position, considering the low HP, certainly had a shot at doing that, but unfortunately for him, just outnumbered there and outgunned towards the end. But a chance for Virtus Pro to fight back here. It's not the best of buys, but they have got the AWP in the hands of Pasha, as we mentioned before. Fantastic performance. Him from him at the major. It seems that he's going to be the main AWPer, along with Snax as well, depending on the map on the side. But Pasha was fantastic with this particular weapon, and Train, he's known to be a bit of a beast as well as we go into this one. 14-6, a must-win round, one away from map point, and indeed match point for NaVi. And it will be the tactical pause. Technical pause. I would say that should have been tactical. Who knows? We never know these days.
Listen, Henry, you're the poker player. You're supposed to be able to call their bluff, so I'll believe you if you say it's tactical.
Well, let's get back into it, shall we?
Oh, this rush from Pasha. He's got the op. He wants the corner. They're just getting to the bottom of the stairs now, but a Molotov well-timed. He would have had a dead-to-rights shot down the lane. Instead, he gets Molotoved off, and he can't approach it. So nade over as well to continue to complement the act of pushing him back. It's worked. He's gone. He's down toward the CT side, the spool, covering off the long lane at upper. But in the meantime, it's his teammate down below that we have to watch and factor into this, because if they do go ramp, it's something we have to consider. Nice shot from Simple. Flash over. Pasha gets his head absolutely taken off by a single bullet, a single click. I like it. I love it. Bialy, meanwhile, finds that Edwards waiting down at the bottom of ladder already and was hoping to catch them off, potentially by pushing through A as they go B.
That was the reaction. They lose that first player. Someone has to step up there. Bialy makes something happen, and Snax looking to do the same thing as well. He's seen the smoke go over. Free kill eventually as C's goes down. Nice recovery so far. Man advantage to Virtus Pro, and the bomb's down as well. It's going to be Snax actually locking down that main area. He's locked them in towards inside. He's got so much information at this point. NaVi have to strike towards inner, and it's going to be Flamey going in first to see if he can find the next frag.
Taz just going to try and open up the opportunities, not playing over to his side. And in fact, flashing. Was that his own flash? Or did that come down the ramp at the same time he threw the smoke? I think it must have, because he gets caught off entirely by that. And Bialy, as a result, has to hold this off 2 versus 2. And when I say hold this off, he's got to hold position because he's got to wait for this. Snax rotating in. Flash goes into the site immediately. Spots where Guardian's playing with the EWP. Has ground. And the reaction time of Guardian is normally sufficient in those situations, but it's not quite this time, as Simple gets it down to a one-on-one. Both players, Snax and Simple, with 2 kills, and it's going to be 3 for Snax at the end of the round, and Simple perishes.
Battle of the star players there. Like I was just about to say as well before this one kicked off, Snax and his teammate Bialy there had no nades, no kits to work with, but Snax makes it work there, picks up the AWP. The problem is only 1 player survives. They're not going to have much money to work with. He can drop 1 weapon over. You can see on the screen right now, it's going to be a real mishmash of weaponry going forward. NaVi have got enough to work with here. They get the AWP out, the AKs have done to be purchased as well, and this is where VP really get tested now. A UMP, Taz on the Mag 7. He plays towards inside, so that makes sense. There's a lot more close range encounters towards that area, but this is going to be a real difficult one for them. Lose this round, that's pretty much GG. Obviously, there'll be a match point, but they'll have literally 0 money going forward. So, Pasha to step up the AWP now, gets the first shot, but Flamey gets one in return as well.
Nade, goes toward the E-box, but it won't matter because the shot came through from Simple to take down Pasha, but immediately after, his teammates perish, and Guardian finds himself very lonely. Alive. Something to think about. He's got 2 feet and a heartbeat, but he's very lonely. And Taz has decided to put him out of his misery with Snax's favorite weapon. Grabs the AWP as well, so Virtus Pro to have that in the next round. 14-8 for NaVi. It's 2 to go still for the Ukrainian side, if you know, mostly Ukrainian.
/ Russian, yeah.
/ Slovakian.
/ Slovakian, yeah, that's true.
/ world.
So the reason for NaVi doing that very simple kind of approach at that point is going for the rush outside. Like I said, they know they kept 1 player alive. There's no money really available for Virtus Pro. They're assuming the AWP's not there. There's no incendiaries. That makes sense, ultimately. But Bialy stepping up tremendously there with the M4A1S brings things back into Virtus Pro's favor. And we said if they lose that round, game over. They managed to survive. And it's going to be a partial buy here for NaVi, not fully investing. They have a smoke execution. I explained this to you in the first half as well. Try and get the bomb down. They're setting up for smokes right now. They've lost that first player in the form of Simple, but they will just be continuing with the execution here. Smokes towards the bomb train, create that wall, but unfortunately for them, Snax is playing in front of those smokes. He won't even be allowing them to get in position. They'll be coming in. It might be a little bit in vain at this point. Don't think any bomb will be going down. Huge AWP nade coming in as Neo finds another frag.
Neo getting Flamey out of the equation with pistols only in the hands of NaVi will buy a bit more time in this game for Virtus Pro to make their comeback a possibility. Nice shot by C's. A bit of an off angle from Snax in terms of crosshair placement. He was just to the right. Leaves us now with Guardian, though, as Taz is rotated around to compensate for the kill, and it's Neo to close it out.
Yeah, well, there it is. Like I said, partial buy from NaVi. trying to get the bomb down there, but shut down before they even had a chance. And now Virtus Pro really have got a real chance of getting back into this one. It's certainly still a CD-sided map, but CSGO seems to be balancing on these heavily favored maps. We talked about it yesterday. Nuke used to be so heavily CD-sided, it was unbelievable, but it's actually at the major turned out to be a very 50-50 sort of affair. In some cases, some T-sides actually winning that map. So certainly every chance that Virtus Pro can pull this one back. We'll see what happens as we go into round number 7. I'm not sure that's actually accurate. Work it out. Yes, it is. Looks fine. And AWP towards Ivy at this stage. It will be Guardian boosted up. Trying to use that smoke to just peek over here. Neo could walk this cross, and he certainly does. This is Navi when they're at absolute best. They normally don't strike in these sort of situations. At least the old school Navi didn't. They would actually wait to see the reaction to come in.
Yeah, when the 155 round timer was brought into gameplay, it was SK at the time, Luminosity, just in their start of the SK phase as well. It still applies Snacks. No. Snacks! You're normally known for the Snacks flash into smoke. You're the master, the genius of it. And he blinds himself and Guardian. Very awkward exchange, and yet the rifle still prevails. However, it's Edward to pull this back down to a 1 versus 2, favoring Navi, and that'll be map point as he takes out Taz. Point I was going to make when the 155 timer came in, and we thought teams like Navi and SK at the time would benefit the most from it because they're so tactical, and oftentimes Navi used to run out of time before planting the bomb after executing.
We have to remember that was when Zeus was at the helm of the team as well. He has a much different calling approach. Obviously, we have a kind of hybrid between C's and StarX right now, and you can see them being a little bit more assertive. They get that first kill, they're smoking off to the right, they're getting towards those backtracks. They're not going to hold up for this amount of time anymore. So they get them out the round they need, match point, and once again, the money is a massive problem for Virtus Pro. It will be UMPs and aggressive play towards inside. Taz is known for this. Gets that first frag. Takes down Edward, but he wants a little bit more here. Knows it's not going to be enough to win the round just yet, especially when C's takes down Neo in return.
Taz as well. And behind the smoke gets found by Guardian. Snacks finds a kill on the opposite side of the map out toward Ivy, which was potentially just to hold off rotations because it's now 3 versus 3 and they needed information, but it's a good kill to get for Snacks. He desperately tries to find a player on the other side of the smoke. Is there a weapon there? Okay, he did. Yeah, okay. He did get the M4. I didn't see it, but he knew better. He knew where he got the kill. Better still for Bialy. He'll find Flamey and Simple to follow. Oh, timing up in the same position, but Simple. Not the spray I might have expected from the young lad. As Snacks will put down Guardian.
Well, not meant to be. It's the UMPs, the Scouts, and a couple of M4s there that stayed today. Virtus Pro still alive and kicking for now, and they have broken the economy for Navi. When you have this situation, I would say maybe avoid the force buy at this point. We'll see what they decide to do. They have got 3K in the bank. In terms of the loss bonus, they get 1,900 next round, so looks like they will be not going quite all in here, but they've given about $1,000 on Guardian, Seized, and a couple of other players as well. So they're going to be going for some Tech 9s, UMPs, smoke grenades, and we'll see whether they can get the bomb down here. It was going to be a double eco situation. The buy would have been poor regardless next round, so they're going to go for quite a heavy investment. Simple on the UMP, just trying to close this out. And it could work out for them. You know, you can see Pasha's only got the scout here, so a good chance than any as they throw the smokes towards outer. Whether they end up in that position is yet to be seen. You can see those blooming on your screen right now, taking that vision away from the CT.
Edward.
It's a fake, I think.
Yeah, trying to get anybody to get caught up by a tick of the Molotov. No one's heard him or reacted to it. They're forced off towards Z, and they've rotated all the way over to B. Above in control, there's 2 players right now for Virtus Pro. That's uncommon. And Taz, that's a decent rotation because he's opened it up ground. He's taken the only player down on B. With all the utility, they thought they had the high ground, then have to rotate back through Z connector, which means by default, bomb is planted, and they've got all the rotations covered off aggressively. That's what we talk about you needing to do when you come in from the B main entrance. That could be disaster, and it certainly will be. Good flank play as C's waited out in A, and 16 rounds for NaVi.
Well, what can you say about that last round? I didn't think they had a chance. I thought the bomb was going down, but it doesn't get much more idyllic than that for Edward. He's supposed to be the ruse outside. He's supposed to be just showing his presence there. His teammates ready to go inside. He actually gets in towards connector mat. There's no call there being made. There's no actual awareness from the CTs. That inside player gets taken down, unaware that's a possibility, and the round falls apart. Simple doing a great job holding the flanks to connect at the UMP. The only player with an SMG as well. Couldn't have been better. And we finished things off there with a nice victory for NaVi.
Well, nice victory indeed. That's map 1 of 2. We'll talk about that, take a break, talk about the other, but to do all of that, we have to send it to our lovely Alex Machine Richardson.
Cheers, boys. Yes, off to a flying start for our second day here at the Pro League. NaVi managing to eventually close things out versus Virtus Pro. And it did, I don't know about you guys, but just seeing the little bit of fire exchange between the two to start off that game made it just that little bit more interesting, knowing that Simple, when he got those 3 or 4, I think it was 4 in the outside bomb site, just so added an extra level of excitement to it for me, Lauren.
Yeah, he had a fantastic game.
He did.
From start to finish. It looked like Virtus Pro took the reins early on, but NaVi turned it right back around. Guardian had a good start once he got the AWP in his hands. Didn't need to be operating at a huge level. Everyone else stepped up too. So NaVi looked pretty decent, to be fair. That T side was incredibly strong as well. It looked like they were going to have the clean run to the end, I thought then, but a couple of rounds went back and forth eventually.
Eventually, yes. Now, you outlined a couple of executes you saw from VP, just 2 smokes that tend to dictate the pace of the gameplay on Train.
They didn't do it.
You didn't get what you wanted, did you?
They didn't do it. So this is the thing, they're a team with a lot of depth, right? That's just one of the many moves they have. We saw at the major, one of their moves was deciding to go double AWPs on the T side, which is pretty unusual, right? So they like to try a lot of different things. It didn't actually pan out for them here. One thing I want to note with the way that NaVi approached the game, on the CT side early, it looked like they were giving Simple freedom to just play spawn-based. You know, it didn't work for them. That's when they were struggling, and then they kind of went back to their normal hold, won a lot of rounds in a row. Something that I thought was interesting as well, on that T side, Simple seemed to be not the lurker, but he's the person who's active on the map on his own. They're just like, hey, Simple, you go over here and do whatever you want. The 4 of us will go as a pack. And he's getting frags and opening up the round for his teammates. So I thought that was interesting. And especially that last round we just saw, there was a nice little adjustment on the fly, right? They did the set smokes, Henry was touching on it. Edward got out Pop Dog, made it to the bomb train, didn't see anybody. Somebody from Virtus Pro had pushed up close T-mid. They saw nothing. They went, okay, well, this is clearly a fake. So the VP guys were just sitting back behind the smoke, waiting for something to happen. Meanwhile, Edward just sneaks in, goes behind, grabs a frag, Simple joins him, holds off connector, and that's the round. It was good to see.
Yeah, and I've got to say, you know, the things that Simple does come out with sometimes sound quite arrogant, cocky on Twitter. You saw the reply, obviously, earlier to that from Pasha. But for me, a player in his position, you have to play these kind of confidence-based roles where he's the one making the plays happen. He kind of has to believe in his own hype as such, you know what I mean? He has to be willing to take these kind of risky routes as such, take kind of risks that don't always pan out if you're not going to hit a ridiculous shot, which you can almost depend on him to do sometimes. He was so on point. So many times it came down to him, like him and Snacks in that 1v1. The amount of clutches that went back and forth between them. Simple eventually won out in a couple of them, but Snacks still looked pretty good in those. But yeah, I think Cobble's going to be absolutely phenomenal between these two.
We keep referring to this tweet. I know some new people have joined us. We can bring it up. This is the exchange that was between Simple and Pasha at the start of the day. In fact, I say start of the day, it was actually very close to game time. Saying that 7 a.m. Jesus, they were up early, getting ready to practice. But you can see Pasha just respond, you will faster destroy your team than us. Well, NaVi, they have conceded the first map over on Train. And actually, we can bring up Simple's stats as well. It does sound like he's done a spectacular job, not only bringing NaVi victory, but also riding high on the scoreboard as well. I think we took a look at that. He was well over the 20 mark. You can see.
Oh.
KD's not.
That
exactly
would have been from, because we had to change some stuff around. So yeah, they're not hugely accurate, but that's all right. We just going to say he had a fantastic game because he did.
I can tell you exactly how he did. Can I?
You trusting HLTV?
I don't know why I tried that.
Yeah.
No, I tried.
No, silly. That's what you get.
I will be credited for trying. You know, sometimes that's all that matters is you tried. And of course, we're going to be seeing VP try to claw things back on that second map. To Cobblestone we venture, and a map that I'm sure anybody that thinks Virtus Pro and thinks Cobblestone will have well, not forgotten what we got to see from them at the major, as well as NaVi, of course, not forgetting 2 of their 3 wins.
Crazy on it. Yeah.
This is going to be good, right? The scene is set. Both teams have done damage on Cobblestone. Just a couple of words, Lauren, of why we should be enjoying.
Quick reminder, it wasn't even the likes of Simple who went off in that map during the major. It was Edward, it was Flamey, those sort of guys. So this is the combined force of NaVi on this map. So if these guys turn up, we could see something actually phenomenal on this one.
Well, NaVi took Train. A lot of people anticipating that to be where VP did the damage. And now we venture to Cobblestone, where NaVi are going to look to replicate some of the success they found over in Atlanta. We'll be back after the break to guide you through the action.